So there's a lot of videos that I wanted to make on this channel, a few vlogs that I had that were planned to be scheduled to upload, but I felt like I wanted to make this video first because it was the most current and wanted to be transparent, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just sit down and talk to you guys. Although the timing of everything doesn't really work out from a video standpoint. So to start right now, I am in the hotel here in Austin, Texas. It's my last day of this 2-week trip that I had planned out. Hotel, beds, messy, whatever. You know, you're not supposed to really clean your bed or make your bed in a hotel. Anyways, but it's my last day here, and for people who don't know, I took a 2-week trip to LA and Texas to play on some bigger live streams and take a shot. First time ever playing these really high stake games, and after these 2 weeks, the appearances on the live streams didn't go as well or as smoothly as planned in the slightest. And when I say high stakes, I was buying into these games for 10,000, 30,000, 50, 90,000. All of it, like extremely ridiculous numbers that I just like never really experienced before ever. So it was my first like shot take, and yeah, it just like didn't go as well as I'd like to, and I kind of wanted to just have an open, transparent dialogue here in the vlog talking about the experiences. So to start, I do want to thank like everyone that watches the videos, both here and on RampagePoker, because I would have never had the opportunity to even play in these games or get the opportunity to play this high, this quickly into my like little poker career here. I've only been playing poker for 3 years now, I think. So to be able to jump from playing 1, 2, 3 years ago, starting off, and now playing and buying into these ridiculous 25, 50, 100 games for a lot of money, the growth and jump has been incredible, and I would have never been able to do it without your support and watching the channel. And because of the success on YouTube, it translated to having different opportunities here with poker or in real life. So with that, I am always eternally grateful, and YouTube is by far like my #1 priority with everything. I think I've been really transparent in saying that I absolutely care more about YouTube than poker, or at least in terms of income streams and levels, or just priority and what I really love doing. I really love creating content and making videos for you guys here who want to watch them. And then poker is secondary, but not too far off behind YouTube. It's still, YouTube's always been like my primary focus at the very least. So my 2-week trip consisted of starting off with a trip to LA at Hustler Casino. They had a live stream. We were gonna play on the 10-20 game, which is a $10,000 max, just a nice little warm up. Then the day after it was a 5-5-50, where it was uncapped, and it's definitely played a little bit bigger than normal. Then I had 2 meetup games at Hustler. Then the very next week, I came down here to Texas, to San Antonio, where I played a 5-10 at Rounders, then a 25-50 at Rounders, and then to cap off the trip, I just played my last live stream, a 25-50 at the Lodge in Austin, Texas. So 5 high-stakes streams, and I'll just go over the quick results and the net of everything. The first stream, the 10-20 Hustler, I made $14,000 and booked my biggest win ever. The second stream right after that, I booked my biggest loss ever and lost about $25,000, $22,000, give or take, something like that. Then Rounders 5-10, I was card dead. I lost about $2,500 the next week. Then I played Rounders 25-50. I ran Kings into Aces all in pre-flop and lost $11,000, give or take. And then most recently at the Lodge 25-50, at the end of the stream, I was down about $25,000. And after the stream, you'll see it on the vlog in a little bit, I ended up crawling back and I booked a small loss of about $1,400, $1,200. So all things considered, it's a lot of red, and it's a little frustrating when you take such a massive shot. Like I typically play 2-5 or 5-10, like $1,000 max buy-in, $1,500 max buy-in, whatever it may be. And then to hop into games where I have like at the most point like $70,000 in front of me, it just like didn't really run that well. The results obviously weren't great, and it's obviously very disappointing, disheartening, and there's like, I don't know, a lot of shame for some reason that goes on in my head. to play on these live streams where obviously anyone can watch, and it's in this field where poker players are highly criticized for almost everything. There's a lot of pressure that comes to playing so high and taking a shot, and when things don't go well continuously, it's really hard to stay focused and play your best and keeping an upbeat attitude throughout all of it. Just to put it into perspective, I played the meetup game at Rounders, right? We were playing 1-2, and I had aces twice, and another opponent had kings twice that same day. So I ran aces into kings in my favor at the 1-2, and then the very next day when we played 25-50, I personally run kings into aces and lose an $11,000 pot. So it's like a little frustrating, and I'm like complaining and ranting. I don't want to do that, but to just like put it into perspective how important variance is and luck is when you're taking such a massive shot, and when you play games of all different sizes from 1-2, that's like $300, $400, $500 for a meetup game, and the very next night after playing 25-50 with a lot more money in front, like tens of thousands of dollars. It makes things like really tricky, and it's like you don't want to use up all this good luck on the 1-2 game because you know you're going to be playing like 30 times bigger at the 25-50. So that's always like frustrating, and I didn't run great, but more importantly, there are a few spots that I like hugely misplayed in these larger games, and I don't know, like I'm totally okay with being criticized. That's just how like the Rampage Poker channel runs, but to be like, I don't know, just playing like really bad. Like last night I played at the lodge, and at the lowest point I think I was down close to like $30,000, which is like so much when you think about it. But it's not like it is the monetary factor, but it's also like I wasn't in the right headspace, I wasn't playing my right game, and like I just felt really bummed in the middle of the session because I knew I made like a huge blunder and a huge mistake a couple of times, and I was playing in the toughest lineup I've ever played in as well. Like everyone in all of these lineups are definitely more experienced than me. If they can like compete in these fields of people who play high stakes, like I don't know, playing against people that have a lot more money, a lot more experience, it might be better. And I'm also just like not running good, and the variance is really tough. All of that combined is a little frustrating after 2 weeks of taking a shot and playing ridiculously bigger. And on top of everything, obviously, like I'm super transparent about a lot of different things about my life with this channel and poker. So I just turned 24, and I've only been playing poker for 3 years, and I've been running the YouTube channel for 3 years. The money that I'm playing with has been like extremely aggressive in terms of how much money I'm putting at the table and how properly bankrolled I am. I'm not going to go into super detailed specifics, but at the very least, I put a very aggressive bet on myself to play in these large games. Can I sustain the losses? Sure. But did I ever go into this live stream imagining what it would be like to lose $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 into a session or in a game? Because that clearly can happen. And it was certainly an oversight that I didn't think about when I put the money on the table or whatever it may be. I just like had this very competitive nature of myself that I want to battle it out against whoever it is. You can be more experienced or better, but I want to like be able to navigate spots better and just try to win. And I was putting out a lot of money on the table that I didn't really know if I was comfortable with losing. It would hurt a lot, and if I lost it, it would be okay because I still have my lifestyle and everything like that. But also at the same time, if I ever lost like $50,000 in a session, I think I would be like extremely distraught because $50,000 isn't some low sum of money. I remember like 3 years ago, I was filming a bankroll challenge because I had no money and I was trying to scratch up to $10,000. So yeah, that's always tough. On top of that, like I was 100% bankrolled by myself. No one staked me. No one's going to stake me. I don't want anyone to stake me. So The monetary amount, I guess, is somewhat of an oversight of mine, and I think I'm relatively lucky to have not lost a bunch, but it did open up my eyes because realistically, I could have lost a lot. I mean, yesterday when I played the Lodge, I literally could have lost $30, $40, $50,000 like that because I wasn't playing well, I was spewing, and there's just like so many other factors that I had to get really lucky to even clop pretty much out of the hole. Minus $1,200 in a 5,100 game is literally break even. So I'm happy that that happened because it felt like a win, but also just didn't really put into account of what happens if I lost like $100,000 in these 2 weeks, because that could easily happen with just negative variance and running really bad, and then that obviously is always combined with playing relatively bad. So I don't know. That's just like my personal insight and what's going on in my head right now when I reflect on the past 2 weeks playing so big. The poker vlogs will catch up eventually in a few weeks about my whole experience. But that's really it, like in terms of like playing super large and super high. The other thing I wanted to talk about was like, now what? You know, after this 2 week trip, right? I lost, I don't actually know. I think I lost like maybe under $15,000 this week. And now I'm going to go back home to New Hampshire and play a 2-5, $1,000 max. After having like so much money on the table. Not that I'm desensitized to the amount, but the poker player in me makes it really difficult to find a way to like make all that money back. And like, yes, I've always been very transparent about how poker is certainly not my number one source of income because I'm really not that good at poker. But I do like the idea of like clawing out of the hole and breaking even, and having poker funds be poker funds opposed to be mixing some other funds around. It makes it really difficult to play the 2-5 and make up like a whole bankroll for 2-5 almost. So it's a little bit hard to find like motivation to do that. But at the end of the day, everything I have done is always for the poker vlog in hopes for it to grow. And yeah, hopefully you guys really enjoy the content that I'll put out in a few weeks, because buying in for those absurd numbers was never something I thought that was fathomable, and I never actually intended on it, especially not when I started playing poker a few years ago. I remember the first 2 years I ever played poker and was doing stuff for the vlog. I think I said like I never wanted to even play 5-10 regularly. And here we are not that long later. I definitely want to play 5-10 regularly whenever it's available. And I felt really comfortable playing the 25-50, although this might have been a mishap of rising the ranks too quickly. I don't know. Most likely, though, I think there's a lot of work I need to do. But it has been such a wild journey that I'm glad I've documented. And I don't know where to go from here, but like I always take the vlog as the number one priority for sure. So, content, it will be, you guys will get a lot of content poker-wise, and on here, I want to post like other stuff like this, where I just start talking about some experiences. I do have a bunch of videos that are ready to go, some vlogs for my LA trip, because that was a lot of fun. Had a few meetup games, bought my first watch, bought like a Rolex, so that's really cool. So I'm glad I have those videos coming out, but let me know what you guys think about videos like this, where I just like openly rant about whatever the hell happened in my life. And this one was a pretty significant one because I think it brought me back down to earth and really put everything into perspective of what I like care a lot about, and also like reflecting on the past 2 weeks, which has clearly been a failure in my eyes of trying to shot take and battle it out. And although I felt like I actually could win in these games, I didn't. And I played 5 live streams, although it's not a lot of time. It's still a failure because I didn't come out in the green or positive and I just lost. So the end of the video, the net of it all, a big thank you for everyone who watches the channel. I mean, it's only because of you guys that I have the opportunity to not only play in the games, but also actually be able to afford playing in these games. So yeah, lost a good amount, but like at the end of the day, like super grateful for everyone's support. And let me know in the comments below as to what you guys think about what the hell happened, if you followed along and watched any of the live streams. I'm really open to having an open dialogue between you guys, and maybe I'll post like an update or something like that. But yeah, right now I don't really know how I feel, to be quite honest. Still feeling like really shaky and different, and I'm bummed, and all these different emotions that aren't like super positive after the past 2 weeks. So there's the rants. Let me know what you guys thought. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support as always. And I'm going to be posting every single Tuesday, and every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday I'll be posting on the RampagePoker channel. So there's that. Those videos will be coming out soon. See ya.